Recently, when communicating with some teams, I noticed a very interesting phenomenon. Whenever someone mentions writing specifications first, many people reflexively ask, isn't that just waterfall? Isn't that non-agile? Doesn't Scrum explicitly say we don't need detailed specifications? These questions all come from a common starting point. No one wants to go back to the days of writing 300 pages of documentation and seeing the product only 6 months later. That starting point is absolutely correct. But I want to explore a perspective with you. If AI can make specification output faster and cheaper, does our view on specifications also need to be adjusted? Let us look at why everyone left Waterfall in the first place. It wasn't because the concept of specification itself was wrong. The real problem was that the cost of traditional waterfall specifications was too high. You might spend a month interviewing stakeholders, 2 months writing files, and 3 months getting approvals. By the time development actually starts, the market has changed, user needs have shifted, and the product is already outdated. So, in this context, Agile was born. The original intent of Agile was to allow teams to validate faster, correct faster, and deliver value faster. This direction is excellent. But interestingly, in practice, some teams have slowly understood it differently. They translate no heavy documentation into no need for specifications. They interpret rapid iteration as code first, think later. This shift is not a matter of who is right or wrong. Rather, as team communication costs, handoff friction, and integration overhead slowly emerge, we begin to realize some things are still better written down first. Let us imagine a scenario together. The front-end developer is guessing the back-end API format. The back-end developer is guessing the front-end data structure. The PO conveys requirements only verbally. Database naming conventions follow everyone's personal habits. OAuth permission scopes have no clear matrix. Microservice boundaries are understood differently by everyone. Naming conventions are completely inconsistent. The developer taking over feels like they are doing archaeology when looking at the codebase. And then, one day, a critical online bug occurs, and someone says, "Let us schedule this for the next sprint." I believe many of you find this scenario familiar. No one is slacking here, and no one is being irresponsible. Most of the time, people just feel we are doing Scrum, so we don't need to write so much stuff. But if we return to the original spirit of Scrum, the Scrum Guide actually never says you don't need specifications. It states that product backlog items need to be refined, planned, and deliver an increment that meets the definition of done. The Agile Manifesto also says working software over comprehensive documentation, but it also clearly points out that there is value in the items on the right. So, this question is worth rethinking together. If we describe this situation in one sentence, the real problem might not be whether Scrum or Waterfall is better. The real question is, do we have a way to make requirements, architecture, databases, interfaces, scopes, and test cases clear in a way the team can afford? In the past, doing this was indeed very expensive. A complete PRD took a long time to write. SA documents required drawing many diagrams. API contracts had to be checked line by line. Permission matrices had to be designed from scratch. So it is understandable that people felt it was too slow and chose to skip it. But now a new variable has entered the equation, and that is AI. In a very short time, AI can help us produce the first draft of a PRD. It can assist in defining user personas, feature boundaries, and acceptance criteria. It can help us sketch system modules, data flows, state machines, and permission models. It can even generate API contracts, DB schema drafts, test scenarios, and edge case recommendations. What is the significance of this? It dramatically lowers the cost of specifications. Specification governance, which was once only affordable for large teams, is now accessible to small and medium teams. In the past, writing specs was slow, so skipping them was a logical trade-off. But now that AI makes draft generation fast, if we still choose to skip it, Maybe we should ask ourselves, is this decision really for agility, or is it just a habit? Of course, this does not mean returning to traditional waterfall. It is not write everything and develop 6 months later. That approach is inflexible even in the AI era. I believe the direction really worth exploring is a different model. This model is called Spec First, then Iterate, which means before starting development, use AI to quickly generate clear PRD, SA, and SPX drafts, so the team at least knows the answers to these questions. What problem are we solving? Who are the users? What is the workflow? How do APIs connect? How is the database structured? Who has access to what? What counts as complete? What counts as a bug? When do we run a hotfix? The answers to these questions are not waterfall baggage, they are basic communication tools for professional development. Specifically, the process looks like this. Step 1. Quickly outline the PRD using AI. Converge product goals, user scenarios, business rules, and acceptance criteria. Step 2. Generate the SA with AI assistance. Clarify system boundaries, microservice data ownership, data flows, and state transitions. Step 3. Produce SPC drafts with AI. This includes API contracts, DB schemas, field types, error codes, and test cases. Step 4. Human review. The PO checks if requirements make sense. The tech lead checks architectural stability. The DBA reviews the database design. Security inspects permissions. Front-end and back-end developers review the contracts. Step 5. Enter the sprint. We do not throw unrefined ideas into the sprint. Only items that are ready enter the sprint. Step 6. Continuous iteration post-launch. Standard optimizations and minor bugs go to sprints, but for critical online issues, follow a hotfix or incident process. After all, processes protect the product, not themselves. This model is not traditional waterfall, nor is it dogmatic Scrum. It is a hybrid of the two, using AI to quickly establish specifications and governance frameworks early on, and using sprints to iterate, deliver, and validate later. Some call it AI-assisted Spec-first Agile, others call it Scrum Waterfall Hybrid. The name doesn't matter. The core spirit is simple. First organize chaos into specifications, then validate reality through iteration. This model starts faster than traditional waterfall and is more stable than Scrum without specifications. Because AI frees us from choosing between writing heavy documents and waiting, and writing nothing and coding in chaos, our options now are fast spec generation, fast review, fast iteration, and fast correction. So if someone tells you Scrum doesn't need detailed specifications, you can gently reply to them, Scrum can do without heavy documents, but it cannot do without clear engineering contracts. No API contract is not agility. No DB naming convention is not agility. No OAuth permission matrix is not agility. No definition of ready and definition of done is not agility. Scheduling a critical bug for the next sprint is definitely not agility. The core of Agile is transparency, inspection, and adaptation. It is not about packaging chaos as methodology. A mature team does not blindly follow a process. A mature team asks, what do we need most at this stage? If requirements are unclear, explore first. If architectural risk is high, design first. If many people connect to the API, set the contract first. If permissions affect security, set roles and scopes first. If features need validation, deliver quickly with sprints. What resurrected in the AI era is not traditional waterfall. It is something always critical to software engineering, but which we accidentally forgot: engineering discipline. The strongest teams of the future will not be those who write the most code. They will be those who can translate vague requirements into clear specs the fastest, and then turn those specs into verified products. There is no need to fight over Scrum versus Waterfall. The next generation development model is simple. AI writes specs, humans make judgments, and teams iterate. This is a direction worth trying together. I am your host. See you next time.